Tell me if this sounds like you. You're here watching this video because you're someone who feels that life just isn't something that you wander through uneventfully until your death. In fact, in your own way, you do believe that life has meaning or purpose, even if you're unsure exactly what it is, but that you could and should be experiencing more in your life. More success, more pleasure, more of your desired outcomes, and even more love. You already have some belief that life and love are games. Games to be played better. And that's why you're here. You want more and better from life, especially your love life. You know that if you improve this belief that life and love are games, it will benefit you. That's why this video's purpose is to help you increase your understanding and belief that life is a game, and therefore, so is love. Because I know you've tried. Your disappointing love life is not for a lack of effort. You've tried all the mainstream advice without much to show for it. Advice like, just do you and the right person will find you. Or be patient. Don't worry. It'll be when it's supposed to be. Some higher power has it taken care of, so chill out. Or of course, don't change. The right person is out there waiting to accept and love you as is. All that sounds great, but you've got disappointing results now, don't you? So I'm going to make sure this video gives you the answer you're looking for. Is life a game? Because if it is, you probably haven't been playing it that way or playing it very well. And if life is a game, what about love? So here's a disclaimer. What I'm about to share with you is going to conflict with your beliefs that life has to be random, difficult, or serious. And changing our beliefs about anything is tough, I know. It's not easy to learn that you've wasted time, energy, and resources in the wrong efforts. That's why in this video, I'm going to give you your proper introduction to the game of life, in the very beginning of your proper introduction to the game of love. Because it's awfully difficult to play and win any game you don't fully understand, right? So are you ready to see behind the curtains? Are you ready for your proper introduction to the games of life and love? Follow my lead. Let's be honest with ourselves. I want you to answer these questions at home either with more yes or more no. Do you feel that other people are just luckier than you? Do you feel that other people are just more prepared for success in life and love than you? And deep down, are you beginning to feel stuck and powerless to improve your love life? I've got good news and better news. The good news is that none of those problems that I just shared with you are the real issues in my solution. And the better news is that I'm going to help you go deeper to where all those seemingly separate problems originate so that we can fix the root cause. Are you ready? Great. I'd like to share a powerful quote with you that I was exposed to when I was 15 years old, and it's really stuck with me. It was on a poster that hung in my high school's weight room, a place where I spent a lot of time trying to turn a really skinny kid into a productive football player. And it was a picture of Arnold Schwarzenegger with this quote that said, "It is always the mind that fails first, not the body. The secret is to make the mind work for you and not against you." Well, that was basically the beginning of my realization that the mind is truly where all accomplishment starts. And I want you to kind of start to have that seed take root. You see, as you believe, so will you behave. I want you to understand that. Why does a quitter quit? I'll tell you why. Because of belief. They believe that they can't win, so why bother trying? That's why a quitter quits. And belief is also why people persist and even win, because they have this belief that I can win, which encourages them to persist and eventually win. So understand that if we can impact the mind, we can impact action, and that means we can impact results. So I tell you, it's time for you to embrace this belief that life is indeed a game. Now, why is this such an important mind shift? I'll tell you why. Because games are supposed to be fun, not necessarily easy, but fun. When something is fun, it encourages enthusiasm, action, and enjoyment in an activity. And you don't have a problem with that, do you? And games are not random. The less you believe that life is random, the more that you're going to take meaningful and purposeful action. Look, if you're firmly entrenched in your belief that life can't and shouldn't be fun, just turn this video off right now. This message is not for you. But for the rest, follow my lead. I'm going to help you better understand and believe that life and love are games. I'm Mario Singelman. I've been an educator and a coach for over 20 years helping men and women just like you hack life systems for better results. What I'm about to share with you comes from a philosophy and methodology that I've developed, tested, and taught others so that they could win more and lose less socially, romantically, and even professionally. I hope you're ready to finally have the information that you were never taught by your schools, family, or society. Let's get started. Let's begin our foundation by answering what a belief is. By definition, a belief is a statement about reality that feels true, but exists only in our mind. Basically, a belief is just your personal reality, and it's your choice. And we have beliefs about all sorts of things. We have beliefs about ourselves, others, even life. We have beliefs like, I'm good enough, I'm not good enough, or somebody would never hurt me, or I could trust them. And of course, we have beliefs about life. You can believe life to be random, difficult, serious, or a game. They're all just beliefs and therefore unproven. So which personal reality do you prefer? What's that? You chose game? Good answer. Now let's make sure we're on the same page with what a game is. By definition, a game is a form of play or sport, especially a competitive one, that's played according to rules and decided by skill, strength, or luck. Now just scratch the last two, strength and luck, because those are very few games and those aren't the most fun games. You get tired of those. So basically, every game that you really want to play and enjoy is played according to rules, whether you know them or not, and decided by skill. Understand that. Now let's get on the same page with the word play, which is to engage in an activity for enjoyment or fun rather than a serious or practical purpose. And for me, that just reminds me that the opposite of play is work. And if we contrast those, we would say that play is about fun and enjoyment of the process, and work is about being serious and focusing on the outcome. So let's think about this. If life is a game, then that means that life is basically play. So in your life, you should be experiencing a lot of fun and enjoying the process. Are you? And if life is supposed to be a game, that means that love is also a game. And if love is a game, that means love is play. So then that brings me to the question, how do you win at a game of play? I came up with a few ways, and it turns out they're all pretty simple. Play. Play a lot. Enjoy the process of playing. Play with purpose. Play to win. That's allowed. It doesn't mean that you're always going to win, but go for it. And if you're going to lose, lose while winning, which, what do I mean? Well, if you're going to lose, be a good sport. Learn something. Become better in the process. That's how you lose, but still win. So let's talk about the game of life. Here's a brief synopsis. The game starts when your player spawns, when you're born, and you're assigned to a tribe and a location, and yes, subjectively, some could be considered better or worse. And based upon that tribe and location, that will greatly impact what you believe to be right, wrong, true, or false. And further, you're going to be assigned some more things. You're going to be assigned genetic blueprints for your physical and non-physical traits. So how tall you're going to be, how smart you're going to be, all that stuff is assigned to you. Again, assigned meaning none of this was your choice. From birth through around age 18, you're going to be in stage 1 in the game of life, which isn't actually the real game of life. Instead, think of it more as a practice or tutorial mode. During these 18 or so years, your focus is more so on growth, physical, and developmental, where you're practicing and preparing for the real game of life. And during this time, the information and experiences that you're exposed to, they can really impact the quality and the direction of your life experiences when the real game of life starts. Stage 2 is the real game of life, typically played between the ages of 18 to 65. And now you're no longer in practice or tutorial mode. The stakes are real. Real rewards, but also real consequences, because the protections that you're afforded in stage 1 from family and society, those are gone. But so also are your restraints. So players now in stage 2 are free to pursue the opportunities to develop the qualifications and experiences for the minigames in life that they want to play. Perhaps games like education, career, or money, or attraction, love, and even family. Then finally, there's stage 3, the ending to the game of life. Typically, players transition to this stage around age 65, and there's a major shift that occurs here. In stage 2, there tends to be a major focus on outcome and being serious, and we give that up in stage 3. Players tend to revert back to stage 1's focus and emphasis on being playful, enjoying, and experiencing. But there's a hiccup going on. During stage 3, contraction is going to be a major player, meaning this is the beginning of physical decline, of mental decline, of your environment that you have access to shrinking, and for the mini games and the challenges that you have access to, that contracts and just keeps on contracting. Basically, contraction just never stops. Now, you can slow your contraction, but ultimately you're going to lose, and it ends ultimately with your physical avatar's death. Now let's take advantage of the momentum. Your mind is open and receptive, so let's take it to the next level and strengthen your belief that life is a game. Because if you're still watching this, the message is sinking in. So get ready. I'm going to share with you what put me over the top. I'd like you to know that you and I are not so different. Like you, I didn't always believe that life was a game, and even after repeated exposures, it didn't sink in like it does now. So what changed? My question. I stopped asking, is life a game, and asked a better question. What makes a game a game? And that answer changed my life. It really put me over the tipping point, and I think it can be for you as well. Because it turns out Just 6 components are required for any game to be considered a game. The first required component of any game is an environment. Every game needs an environment. So for your game of life, perhaps you might consider planet Earth, your continent, your country, your state, your city, your neighborhood as all being your environment. In love, you might consider bars, nightclubs, or online dating your environment. And with environment, understand that as you improve your qualifications and your experience, new environments are going to be unlocked. The second required component of any game is players. Every game requires players. And in the games of life and love, some of the players are you, other men, other women, perhaps some system, or even time. But let's address your player. Now, yes, your player is unique and special. However, you need to understand that you share some common programming with every other human on Earth, male or female. So you share some common drives, such as the pursuit of survival, reproduction, to express an experience, otherwise known as giving and receiving, to pursue pleasure, to pursue relationships, and to pursue love. And one last thing, I'd like you to consider romantic relationships, because when you think about it, those check the box for every last one of those 7 common drives that I just shared with you. So what does that tell you about how important it is to you living a fulfilling and satisfying life experience? Think about that. The third required component of any game is rules, the stated or unstated regulations or principles that govern the conduct within a particular activity. Now, the rules can be broken. It's your choice if you want to do that, but if you do so, you should expect consequences. And ultimately, the rules that you play your games of life and love by are your values. So you get to choose. Do you want to play fair? Do you want to cheat? Do you want to do anything to win? Your decision for how you will play will yield its rewards and its consequences. Now, yes, rules can be broken, and it's even something that I teach and promote that they can be bent and broken, but not by everyone, at least not without negative consequences. So let me explain with my 5 levels of rule mastering. The first level is awareness, followed by level 2, being able to follow the rules. And then there's level 3, mastery. And at this point, you don't need any reminders. You've got this, right? And I think this is where a lot of the population thinks everything ends, where the finish line stops. But I consider there to be 2 more advanced levels. There's level 4, advanced mastery of the rules. And at this point, I would consider you to have top 20% mastery of the rules. And with that, you can occasionally pick your spots and bend the rules and get away with it. And then there's level 5, the elite mastery of the rules. At this point, I think you're top 20% of the top 20%. You're the elite 4% with such mastery that you can not only bend the rules occasionally, but you can break the rules occasionally and get away with that. So before you go around trying to bend and break the rules, think about where you align on these levels of rule mastery. So what are the rules that life and therefore love abide by? Well, the first is that you only get one life, so make it count. And the second is that it operates under the law of cause and effect. So if you don't like your results, look to your actions and make a switch. The third rule is that you're either growing or dying, but there is no stagnation. You're either getting better or you're getting worse. That's why in life, one of the best strategies is always to take action sooner rather than later. Think about health and fitness. The longer that you procrastinate taking action about your health or fitness, the bigger hole that you're likely digging yourself that you're going to have to get out of later. So you might as well start taking action sooner. And when it comes to attraction and love, if you stand on the sidelines, you're not doing nothing. You're getting worse when you finally do decide to step into the game. The fourth rule of life is that it requires contrast, which allows us to experience preference for this to that. So there always has to be a relative good and a relative bad. So yes, it looks like success and failure are both here to stay. The good news is you don't have to experience the good and the bad in life equally, and that's why you're here, because you want to win a whole lot more than you lose, right? Understand, good, bad, success, failure, pleasure, pain, they're all necessary. They teach you how to play and not play the game of life and all of its mini games. And bad experiences aren't necessarily so bad because they can lead to growth, progress, and becoming better. You know, it might suck in that moment to not get that job or not get the promotion, but what if that leads you towards something better? Or what if that challenges and pushes you to become better, more qualified, and more experienced so that you can get better and deserve better and receive better? And in a relationship, sure, it might suck to get dumped, right? But what if that pushes you to become a better version of yourself, more qualified for that relationship? And even if they won't have you back in the relationship, you're still a better version of yourself for you, for the world, and maybe even your next relationship. Now, one last thing about the rules of life. What's not against the rules? Asking for and receiving help. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not bad. It's not cheating. Think about it. If you had a goal to become healthier and more fit, what's wrong with working with a doctor, a nutritionist, and a personal trainer? Any or all of them all together. What would happen? You'd experience progress and success, probably, right? So life rewards you. And if you worked with a coach to learn a new skill, what would happen? You would learn that skill better, faster, and easier. What's wrong with that? It's smart business. Understand that in life, there's no rule that says you have to take the long and difficult path. It's not required. In fact, understand, life rewards those who ask for and receive help. The fourth required component of any game is a challenge. Every game requires a challenge or a dragon to slay, right? And the best challenges are always going to be fair and attainable because nobody wants to play a damn near impossible to defeat game. So if your challenge is to rule the world, yeah, that's going to be a tough challenge, not the best choice. But if you're seeking a genuine romantic connection, that's a fair and attainable challenge. That's a good one. And don't worry about running out of challenges in your game of life. There are always more challenges waiting for you to qualify for and conquer them, or to discover and create them. The fifth required component of any game is a payoff, which, if it makes more sense, think of it as a result or reward or a desired outcome. And some of the more common payoffs that humans pursue are money, relationships, love, and accomplishments. And finally, our sixth required component for any game: interactivity involving choice. Choice is going to mean that skill is involved and that the results are not random. And you need to understand that you reveal your qualifications for a game's payoff with your choices. And understand that every game is always going to have better strategies of action, a better choice to be made. And that's it. All six required components of any game. As you can see, life checks the box for every required component of a game. And so does love. How about that? So to recap, whether you like it or not, your life operates as a game. Your love life operates as a game. And as with any game, you can't expect to win if you don't understand how to play the game. In this video, we strove to impact you where it all starts, your beliefs. And in watching this video, you've displayed your desire to develop your beliefs that life and love are games, because you know it's beneficial. And what you've seen and been exposed to, you can't unsee. If you're still watching me now, you've received the message. Life is a game, and so is love. They both check every box to qualify as a game. And that reality has sunk in to shift the way that you view life and all of its mini-games such as love now, huh? Excellent. When you understand that life is a game filled with mini-games to be played and experienced, it's like seeing behind the curtain of Oz or seeing The Matrix. You just see things so much differently now. Whereas once you saw nothing, you will now observe patterns, and within those patterns, you'll see more of the clues to experience the life and love life of your dreams. If you feel the shift that I expect you do, it's because you better understand and believe that life and love are games, the purpose of this video. And that's one of two steps necessary to level up your love life. The other is playing the game of love with better strategies so that you can win more and lose less. Lucky for you, I've already invested the time, energy, and resources to compile and organize this information. So if you appreciated this video, imagine what's next. How to win more at the game of love. Simplified, decoded. All the things that you want to know and learn. All the things that your parents, schools, and society couldn't and didn't teach you. Because you can have more and you can have better. You just have to become more and you have to become better. That's why I created my Crash Course in Game, a 3-course bundle designed to help you level up your game and your love life experiences. In the first course, Understanding Game, I share my philosophy and methodology for winning more and losing less at the game of life, and especially its mini-game of love. The second course, Foundations of Game, is a collection of the most impactful lessons worthy of developing your foundation of game. The third course, Advanced Concepts of Game, builds upon your foundation of game and further elevates you from your competition in the game of love. And to ensure you have the support that you need to level up your game and your love life, you're going to receive 2 months of free access to the Love Life Emergency Helpline, where 24 hours a day, you can submit your very important question you need answered. And it's just as simple as text messaging your friends or your family, except you can count on a timely response with feedback that you can trust regarding your questions for this course or your love life. This is it, the moment of truth. Are you actually as ready as you say you are? I hope so, because there's nothing subtle about the next shift that's coming. It's your time. The next time that life tests your qualifications to level up your love life, will you be ready? Or will you be haunted by that familiar feeling of regret again? Ask yourself, do you have the time to invest to figure this out yourself? And if you do have the time, what's your time worth? And if you can figure it out yourself, why haven't you done so yet? In this love life you've been dreaming about experiencing, you want someone that you would feel lucky to land, right? Well, doesn't this person deserve to feel the same about you? So forget this cliche about, I would die for you. Would you live for them? Would you become better for them? Would you become your best for them? Because that's what they want. Look, sometimes it really matters if you win or lose. Sometimes there aren't do-overs. You've experienced this, I know. And for those of you who are tired of losing so much, who want something different in their love life, something better, this crash course is for you. So forget waiting on fate, luck, or some higher power. I've made it as convenient as it's ever going to be to take what's in my mind and put it in yours and apply it to experience the love life of your dreams. Understand, if you want better results in your life, you have to become better. See you in the next video.